Guys, Preacher 357 out here on this beautiful, warm, but a little bit windy fall afternoon here in Tennessee. And I've got another gun here to show you. And this is the Taurus 856. Now, if you're not familiar with the Taurus designations, they've had a model 85 for a lot of years. And the 85 was essentially patterned after the Chief Special by Smith & Wesson, the Model 36. Now, it wasn't a clone. The lockwork's not the same. There were a lot of differences to it, but it looked a lot like a Smith & Wesson Model 36. It was the same rough size and shape, and you know, the cylinder release worked the same way basically. And so it was a lot like a Smith & Wesson Model 36. Well, this is the 856, and the 6 on the end is signifying that it's a 6-shot rather than a 5-shot like a J-frame would be, like a Model 36 Smith & Wesson, like the original 85s were. So they've come out with this new line of 38 special revolvers that have the 6 on the end. They are 856s, and they have several different models. They've got ultralight versions, they've got some different finishes, and different barrel lengths. This is a 3-inch barrel. They also make one in the snub nose, the 2-inch barrel. Roughly, I believe. I can't remember exactly if it's 2-inch or 2 1/4 or 1 7/8 or whatever it is, like a Smith & Wesson. But anyway, they come out in some different configurations. So this one is what they call their matte black. Now, I'm not sure what the matte black is, because according to the Taurus website, this is a stainless steel revolver. So it's a stainless steel that has something that's matte black over the top of it. And I don't know if it's Cerakote or if it's some sort of nitrided kind of thing like Armor Night, which is what Smith & Wesson uses on their M&P slides. Their slides are stainless steel, and they had that Armor Night finish over the top of them. So I don't know if it's something like that. However, the ultralight version says it is a nitrided finish, whereas this just says matte black. So that makes me think this is just Cerakote. It kind of feels like Cerakote. The Pinto version that they have, which is a stainless frame with a black cylinder, says that it is a Cerakote. So I'm assuming this is probably a Cerakote too. Just an assumption, because I couldn't find anything that specified exactly what the matte black was. But I believe it's probably just a baked on coating like a Cerakote. So at any rate, it is a stainless steel revolver. So even if the Cerakote wears off, even if you get wear on it, you're not going to have a lot of corrosion on the gun because it is stainless underneath. But I was really curious about about these guns, where they fit in the market. And obviously the first gun that came to mind when I saw this was the Colt Cobra that's out now, or even the old Colt Cobra, the old Detective Specials. I was thinking it's probably somewhere in that range, that size range, that Colt D-frame, I think is what they called them, range. But I wasn't really sure. I wasn't sure how they compared, and I don't have an original 85 to compare it to the original 85, but I do have some other guns. I've got a new Colt Cobra, as well as a J-frame Model 36 Smith & Wesson, and a K-frame, my Model 65, which is a 3-inch. And so I thought we could compare it to those and just see where it falls in the size range. And then also we'll do a little bit of shooting. Now, I did a little bit of shooting just a minute ago, just trying to sight it in and see where it was hitting, and I'm just getting shots going all over the place. So that may just be me not getting used to the revolver yet, because I haven't really put very many rounds through it. But it may just not like the ammo either, I don't know. And the other thing is, I'm almost out of ammo. I am almost out of 38 Special. I have shot so much that I'm almost out of it, and I haven't been out of 38 Special in a long time because I hand load a lot of it. But I've shot more than I've hand loaded this year. And I didn't realize I was as low as I was until I started digging through all my cans of ammo and only found 2 that had 38 Special in them, and they were both almost empty. So I won't be doing a ton of shooting today, but I have a couple of different types of loads. They're both 158 grain, but different bullet profiles that we'll be shooting through here. I may not be able to hit anything with it. I don't know. I don't know if it's an inherent inaccuracy in the gun, if it's just an inherent inaccuracy in me. Maybe that's what it is. Just not used to it yet. The trigger pull is decent. I mean, it feels a lot like a Smith & Wesson. It's fairly smooth, got a pretty clean brake on it. This has a transfer bar safety in it. You know, a Smith & Wesson does not have a transfer bar, it has a hammer block. So in that sense, it's more like a Colt or a Ruger. But, you know, it doesn't make a lot of difference as far as functionality of the gun. But here it is. So I thought we'd take a look at it today, do a little bit of shooting, talk a little bit about it, do some comparison. But before we do all that, I want to remind you to check out the description of this video or any of my, at least my recent videos, where I've got a link there for the Gun Owners of America for a discounted membership where you can join up and get in the fight and help us with our gun rights nationwide. Or there's also a link there for the Tennessee Firearms Association, the TFA. If you live in the great state of Tennessee like I do, you can join the TFA, and I would urge you to do so and help us fight for our rights here in this great state that we live in. So let's get over here and take a look at these guns, do a little bit of comparison. All right, guys, here we have the Taurus 856. Not a bad looking gun. It has a night sight on it. I don't know if you can see that from there or not, but it actually has a night sight, at least that's what it says. So I'm assuming it glows in the dark. I haven't tried to see if it does. Just has the ramp, you know, cut into the top strap there for the sights, but that's what you get with, you know, most of these types of guns. Even the new Colt has the same sort of thing on it. So that's to be expected. That's so you don't have one of those adjustable sights sticking up on top there that can snag. Makes it fairly snag free for carry. So I don't mind that. In fact, I like it in the carry revolver, which is what this is designed to be. And let's just do a little bit of comparison. Tell you what, let me get my calipers and we'll just see exactly how it stacks up to these other guns. Because the width really we're looking at is the cylinder. That's where your width is going to be. Your height and width of your window here, as far as the width of the gun here. So that's really what we need to look at. So let's just get the calipers out and take a reading on all of these and see how it matches up. All right, I've got the calipers now because I was a dummy and forgot to bring them out here with me. So let's just measure the cylinder and see what we get here. Front to back here, I'm going to measure on this part right here. 1.411 inches is what I'm getting on that cylinder. Now let's check out just the standard J-frame, the Model 36 here. And we get 1.293. That's what I'm getting on it. Sorry, 1.30 when I do it that way. Now the Colt, this is the Colt Cobra, the new Colt Cobra. Let's see here. 1.402.5. So we'll say 1.403. It just flipped over to 0.03. So 1.403. Now a K-frame. This is a Model 65. Of course, this is a 357, but it doesn't change the size of the cylinder. They're the same. The Model 64, which was the 38 Special, was exactly the same size as far as this goes. It was just longer front to back. 1.48. So it's a little bit bigger than the Colt. Obviously bigger, a lot bigger than the J-frame, but not as big as a K-frame. So it falls somewhere in that range, and that explains a lot when I look at the holsters here. This is a K-frame Smith & Wesson holster here. A little holster I like. It's a Hogue, I think. No, I'm sorry, it's a Bianchi. Number 3S. I really like this little holster in certain applications. The 3-inch Smith here, K-frame, fits perfect, absolutely perfect. The Colt Cobra, you see it's a little bit loose. You could use it, and I have used it with the Colt Cobra, but it's a little loose. But when I go with the Taurus, it fits. Now it's not quite as snug as the K-frame, but it's quite usable in this holster. It doesn't have a lot of play like the Colt does. So it's closer to a K-frame than the Colt Cobra, which would be what I consider really its main competition, I guess you could say, since Smith & Wesson doesn't make one that really kind of fits into this category. But it's definitely bigger than a J-frame. I tried it in a J-frame holster. I had a Kydex holster designed for a J-frame, and it will not fit. So that does tell you something about the size of the gun. Not quite K-frame size, but definitely bigger than a J-frame, and slightly bigger than the Colt Cobra. So there you go. If you were wondering, now you know. But let's do a little bit of shooting with what little ammunition I have left and see if maybe I can hit something. I'm just really not sure if I'm going to be able to hit anything or not as badly as I was shooting at that target a minute ago. But I'm just going to grab random ammo and not worry about what kind it is, because I couldn't tell if it was hitting different points of impact with different types of ammo, because all of them were just hitting all over the place. So we'll go out here, over here, and start at the plates here at 20 yards, and I'm going to try double action. If I can't hit anything double action, I'm going to go to single and see if that helps any. Let's just try double action, see if I can hit this thing with it. Yeah, I pulled that one. There we go. Yeah, I was not expecting to hit to do exactly what it did. I don't know if I can hit that. I don't even know where I'm going. Let me go back to the bigger plate. Yeah, that was all 6. That was all 6. Okay, guys. I guess you noticed the wardrobe change here, but that's because it's been about 2 weeks. And I decided to just stop with the previous video because I was having so much trouble hitting. But the longer I shot the gun, the more accurate it seemed to be, which leads me to believe that the barrel needed a little bit of seasoning. Now, that's not something you normally run across with a handgun. You usually think of that in terms of a rifle. But I think that's probably what the situation was. The barrel, maybe it had a little bit of some rough spots in it, which was causing it to not be very accurate. But the more I shot it, the more it smoothed out. It got to where it was shooting a lot better. And even after the video, I was shooting a lot better with it. So I thought, well, let's just take a little bit of time. And instead of just showing a video of me missing a lot, and it not necessarily being my fault, because I don't think it was all my fault. Now, obviously, the more you shoot a gun, the better you get with it as well. And the better the trigger has gotten. The double action especially has gotten a lot better on this gun the more I've shot it. So I thought I would just, finish the video off after a little bit of time had passed and maybe have a little bit better accuracy with it. Because it's not the end of the world if you have to put some rounds down range with the gun before it's really accurate, before you can shoot it well, because a lot of times you need that practice yourself just to get used to the gun anyway. So rather than make a video and then say, well, the gun's just not accurate and it looks bad on the gun, let's just kind of put a stop to it and try again a little bit later. So that's what we're going to do today. And I've also got some factory ammo, some Federal 158 grain Federal that we'll shoot today instead of my hand loads. Normally I don't buy factory ammo in 38 Special or 357 because I do load it myself and it's rather expensive for what it is. But I thought in this case it might be better just to put some factory ammo through it, because I know a lot of people who are going to be watching these videos more than likely are going to be shooting factory ammo rather than hand loads. So let's just do a little bit of shooting now and see if I'm right, and see if this gun is a little more accurate than it was. Now, I don't remember right offhand now exactly where it was hitting, because it's been a little bit since I shot it. And just dropped a round on the ground now. If that's all right, we'll pick it up later. But let's see if we can figure it out, because I really feel like it was doing better, after I put some rounds through it. So let's see what we can do with the Cowboy here. I'll go double action to start off with. Alright. The double action's much better than it was. Yeah, still missed there. But it actually will stage now. Like you see with most of your Smith & Wessons, where you get to that point after that initial weight where you you feel like it's a spot where you can kind of rest for a second before the hammer falls, before it actually breaks. And this was not doing that at all when I was first shooting it. I was not getting any place where it would stage. As soon as you got it to rotate and you overcome that initial weight, it would just turn all the way around and go off. There was a lot of weight to it, and then a sudden break, and that was very hard to deal with. But now it's much smoother. You get that much more consistent trigger, and it feels a lot like a Smith & Wesson comparatively now. So I'm very pleased with the trigger. Let's go over here on the red plates again. I'm gonna go single action, just see if I can figure out what to do with it here. All right. Well, where'd I go on that one? There we go. Still hadn't quite figured it out. But it's definitely shooting better than it was when I first got it out of the box and started firing it. Because I've shot it and cleaned it as well. And that's something else I want to show you about the gun as well. That, you know, when cleaning it, the finish took a little bit of a hit. The brass brush on the cylinder, you can definitely see where I did that. And of course, I don't scrub really hard on a black finish gun or on a blued gun, because I'm not really trying to get the carbon completely off the front of the cylinder. But you know, you can still see it. I like to knock it down a little bit, and even under the light I can see a little bit of difference on the crane as well, which was kind of surprising because I didn't actually even scrub the crane. But let's just do a little bit more shooting here. Let's go out to 35. See if I can hit that one. There we go. Yeah. All right, cowboy. See if I can hit this 6-inch plate. Out of ammo. Yeah, I'm still not 100% sure. Guess I should have put it back on paper again after changing ammo here, because I never shoot this federal ammo, so I'm not really all that familiar with it. Let's see. Raise it a little bit. No. All right. Like I grazed him. Let's see if I can get the little one. There we go. Hold it a little too low, I believe. And that was all she wrote. All right. Definitely better than what I was seeing in that first video session that I did with this gun. Let's go ahead and see if we can get the one at 100 yards. Maybe I can hit this one. I don't know. I can't remember if I hit it in the first video or not. No. I heard it. Yeah, I heard it. Let's see about this one at 100. I'll bring it down just a hair. All right. I didn't see that one. That may have been it. All right, we'll shoot just a little bit more here. I'm gonna try that 80-yard plate again. See if I can get the range on it. But this is much better. I mean, it's shooting much better. This feels a lot like a Smith & Wesson now. And, you know, I'm fairly well pleased with the gun. Really am. It feels like a quality-made firearm. All right, that was way off, wasn't it? Well, bracketed in on both sides. There we go. I just needed to go double action. Strange how that happens sometimes. You wouldn't think you would ever be more accurate double action, but sometimes I find I am. I don't know if I just it just feels better. I don't know why that is. But anyway, I'm very pleased now. And I don't know, I may actually keep this gun for myself. I might even carry this gun. Very utilitarian. You know, it's not pretty like a Smith & Wesson. Though, to be perfectly honest, some of your small J-frame carry guns are not beautiful guns either. They don't have the nice blued finishes and what have you. They've got the aluminum frames, and, you know, some of those are, you know, very utilitarian in a lot of ways as well. So, you know, if you're looking for a small gun, 6-round capacity, of course they also make it, this is the 3-inch barrel, they also make it in the 2-inch barrel, or 2 1/4, or 1 7/8. I'm not sure exactly what the length is on theirs, but in the snub nose variety, if you want the smaller one. You know, this is a viable option, I think. If you like revolvers and you want to carry a revolver, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this gun. And you may have to put some rounds through it like I did. Kind of learn the gun, get the trigger smoothed out a little bit, and season the barrel a little bit, and get her where she's shooting well, which that's something I've never had to experience with a Smith & Wesson right out of the box. The triggers are perfect, it seems like, usually, and they're accurate right out of the box. And you know, of course, some people have issues. Now, you know, even Smith & Wesson has their lemons from time to time, or guns that have to be sent back. Of course, the canted barrels, people have issues with those, but you know, I'm fairly well impressed with what Taurus has brought to the market here. This 856 is a nice little revolver. As I said, I think before, I would like to see a gun this size in a 357, but I don't know if you could make a 357 in this size that's six rounds. Of course, they have the 605 that's basically the same gun in a 357, but it's the 5-round mag, but 5-round cylinder. It's not a magazine, 5-round cylinder. And, you know, I can wish. That don't mean it's possible, you know, to make a cylinder strong enough to handle 357 in 6 rounds in this size. But anyway, guys, appreciate you coming out. You know, I'm gonna beg one more time. I'm getting close to the year mark on my channel, and I'm trying to get this channel monetized to become part of the partner program, and I need 1,000 subscribers. Got plenty of watch hours, but I need 1,000 subscribers. I'm not quite there yet, so if you would just like, subscribe, help me out in building this channel, and because I'd really, at least by the end of the year, like to get there. And of course, when I first started, I never really thought I would, but that was kind of my goal. And I've been pleasantly surprised that so many people have decided to watch. But I appreciate it, guys. Also, check out the description. There's a link there for the GOA, for a discounted membership to join up and help get in the fight for our gun rights. Also, there's a link there for the Tennessee Firearms Association. If you live in the state of Tennessee, you can help out with our state organization. Or if you don't live in Tennessee, I'm sure you have a state organization as well. So look those guys up and check them out and research them, and maybe get involved with them on the state level, because I think a lot of the fight that we're going to be having over our gun rights will be at the state level. So anyway, guys, appreciate you coming out. God bless you. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time.